everyone. So welcome to BongoHive. We're here. It's an innovation hub and an entrepreneurship hub as well. So we're just going to take a look around how BongoHive looks inside and what opportunities you can take advantage of. Follow me. So we have here the Executive Director, Mr. Lukonga Lindunda. He's going to run us through how each and every room operates in this building. Thank you.
This is the Hive code. The receptionist is here.
So you are invited by the receptionist.
Yeah.
You're invited in. There's like a hello sign over there. So please.
So we have a flexible co-working space. So people rent, or organizations, startups rent office space from us at a very affordable fee. So one fee caters for internet, water, electricity, and cleaning services. And so all you do is just pay that one fee. We take care of everything else. So these are one of our smaller offices, but they're called private offices, so they're dedicated to one company each. We like to call it our communal area here, but we usually have our meals from here. People can have them from just outside, but it's really important for people to be able to meet over a meal. I have a wonderful kitchen as well.
I see a TV there. Do you forget to watch sports or something?
Yeah, sometimes it's just good to be able to unwind.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a fully stocked kitchen as well, and amazing meals that are served over lunch. We have two amazing staff that work with us managing the kitchen and the space as well, making sure it's clean, and we have enough water and meals available for everyone.
Wow, awesome. So I'm guessing there's more rooms.
Yeah, there's more rooms. For now we have about 7 spaces that are office spaces, and they're all fully booked. So this is this sought after space we have.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Beyond and Above, a show where we bring to you people who are doing beyond and above in their careers or their talents. Today we have a very exciting guest, and today is focused on innovation and entrepreneurship. And what no other better organization to talk about this than BongoHive, the famous BongoHive. These are people who are trying to promote entrepreneurship and innovation in Zambia in order to create positive impact on the world. Now, it's not my story to tell. We are going to be talking to the Executive Director and co-founder of BongoHive, Mr. Lukonga Lindunda. Welcome to the program.
Thank you. I'm glad to host you here at BongoHive.
Thank you for having us. This is a very lovely place, and I feel everyone has to see this.
I know, right? Thanks.
All right. So we're going to start with the first question, which is, who were you before BongoHive? I think we need to understand your journey before BongoHive. So who was Mr. Lukonga before BongoHive was born?
Okay. So I was born in Dola, and I have a little math thing I usually do. So
okay.
I discovered that, not discovered, but I was born on the 14th of July 1983, and that's got like 2 sevens and 14, the 7th month, 7 years before 1990,
oh, okay.
And I was born at 7 p.m.
Oh, okay, interesting.
So I was like 5 sevens, but in my birth date. So I then graduated high school and had the opportunity. I actually was accepted at CBU at UNZA to study computer science. And then I had the opportunity to study in South Africa. My brother in law was there,
okay.
Studying. And
so what did you choose? Did you first do it at UNZA and then went to SA, or you studied with SA?
No, I didn't take up the opportunities at CBU and UNZA.
Okay.
And well, quite frankly, my dad had just retired, so he had a bit of some money.
Yeah.
And so there's a running joke in the family that I ate
You benefited
Yeah,
from
my dad's money.
Last bondings.
It was a good opportunity to go and study in South Africa. Of course, using my dad's pension money.
Yeah.
But I chose to study IT.
Okay.
At that point, it was, I think, a BSc in IT. Now they've changed it to information systems. My experiences were going through life with the burden of having this huge, great qualification, but not doing the stuff that I love. So, I did some sales, and many people go through that. Right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like every graduate's nightmare a bit.
Exactly. So I did some sales gig, which was very short. Did a graphic design job, then eventually got into some IT related things. So I was a systems analyst at a local company. So my first 3 jobs were in small Zambian companies, and some of it really motivated the genesis of BongoHive.
Yeah.
And eventually, after those sort of small jobs, I eventually landed myself in the NGO space, so a USAID project where we were solving the problem of the not so great quality of education in Zambia. So we were trying to use technology to solve for those problems.
Okay.
And so even after I left that job, the next job was still in the education sector, still trying to solve for the problem of
it was like it was coding.
Yeah, but some of the experiences there were profound for me, because it was trying to a lot of it was using technology to try to solve for a very challenging problem.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the things that are happening now, like the new government's emphasis on funding education, simply shows that education is a huge opportunity, but at the same time a huge problem.
At what point now did you think of BongoHive? So how did BongoHive start?
And if I can go back in time, why I chose the field of IT or technology was my mom at some point, maybe 95, 96. I think somewhere there. She brought home a second-hand computer from her workplace. I think they were getting rid of these old computers. And so that was my first interaction with a computer.
Yeah. And,
I used to watch a lot of CNN at that time. It used to come on ZNBC. Now I don't know if it comes on ZNBC. But it was a great opportunity to see what was happening across the world, and seeing this computer and being able to break it apart, build it, install software and all these things was very exciting for me. And so I jumped into the field of technology based on that, the influence of having a computer in the house. So access to a device motivated me to now, be interested in the field of technology. And so by the time I was on my last job, full-time job, and using this technology approach to solving problems, the idea that came to mind was, we're trying to solve for a really big challenge here. And some of the frustrations were very real. Like, you go to a college of education and you are teaching teachers how to use Google. And this was 2009, somewhere there, even earlier. And you can understand the frustrations of you know the power of technology, but you have to dumb it down.
Yeah.
To start teaching computer literacy to people who potentially could then teach others and change a whole generation if they themselves understood technology.
Yeah.
And so seeing that problem, and also having traveled the country and seeing how technology could play a big role in solving problems, but we were not there yet, made me, and now there are a number of other players in this story, because I have co-founders who helped start BongoHive. And so my own experiences were, again, being out there in
in the rural areas, seeing how the power of technology was having some level of impact, and really asking ourselves, okay, how do we accelerate this, right? And we know that the NGO model has its pros and cons. And the question that I had, and Bart, who's the other co-founder, who's no longer involved with BongoHive, we used to work together. And the question we had was really how can we accelerate the adoption of technology and the use of technology and innovation in solving problems sustainably. And so the thought idea that we had was really, how do we source innovation locally as well? How do we make local people, Zambians, innovate and find solutions to problems that they themselves will be facing? And so the concept of BongoHive then started from there, the questioning aspect, so that how do we do this?
Yeah.
And then, with time, it was about discovering the how to do this and trying out different models. And
That's a very interesting journey, and looking at how far you've come, it's been like 10 years now.
Yeah.
Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah.
So in that period of 10 years, what would you say has been the greatest achievement for BongoHi?
When I meet people who talk about BongoHive, there's a lot in there that's intangible. And I like the fact that when we look back at the past 10 years, it's not about looking at one major achievement, right? As in a physical thing, or whether it's money, or something like that, or a building. It's not that actually. It's just the awareness, right, of the potential for innovation, entrepreneurship, and the impact on lives. And so when you look back 10 years ago, when we had to explain, I would talk to people and explain the concept of innovation hub, and they would be like, what are you talking about, right? And now to see so many companies, organizations wanting to get into this space, even with the intention of many organizations to do this, it's really heartwarming when people talk about the impact that BongoHive has had on the mindset of many young people who may not even have been to a BongoHive event, but knowing that there are certain people that can support innovators, that are doing their best to support entrepreneurs, that has been very encouraging to a lot of people who may not have seen technology or innovation as a real opportunity. And now they're just excited about getting into that space, whether it's studying, whether it's starting businesses, or whether it's being more innovative within their workplaces. But the change of mindsets of many young people is what I would believe is one of the greatest achievements that we have had over the past 10 years.
Wow. The awareness has become real, and I like what you're doing. You can't talk about innovation in Zambia anymore without mentioning BongoHive, which just shows that you're literally having that impact and you've brought that awareness. But I do understand that every organization has its ups and downs. So what would you say has been the most challenging moments for BongoHive?
Good question. I think there are many.
Okay.
I think that one of the greatest challenges we constantly face in the line of our work is changing mindsets of people. I think creating a culture of entrepreneurship or innovation is not as easy as people think it is. A lot of times when we are supporting entrepreneurs, we are always trying to help them to see bigger. And so when someone comes and then they say, look, I have an idea, I have a business, and then you begin to interrogate them, like, how big do you want this to be? That's when you begin to, I guess, get disappointed, because in many cases we don't think as big as we should, right? So some people may question and say, okay, why don't Zambian businesses expand into the region? Why don't they see Southern Africa or the continent as a real opportunity? Why do we restrict ourselves to your streets or your friends or Lusaka or wherever, whichever location you are at. And you know that's you could say a tip of the iceberg of the things that we have to face, and that sometimes we don't think as big as we should. Even with the opportunities that we do provide within BongoHi, we do find that, you know, you may be supporting an entrepreneur, and the entrepreneur themselves are not thinking as big as they should. Mm-hmm. And so we are restricted in how we grow and how we encourage entrepreneurs and how we support entrepreneurs in becoming big, because they themselves don't believe that they are working on an idea that has potential to scale not only locally but regionally. So the opportunity to think big, or the mindset of thinking big is lacking in many of us, and we do find that becomes a real challenge in supporting entrepreneurs, because the new government provides an opportunity to solve one of the bigger challenges that we have had, which is the involvement of government in this space. Right? Mm-hmm. I think for most of the 10 years, it's been in many ways a solo effort or a joint effort between us and, let's say, private sector. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. And not as much a push from the leadership from the very top to say, you know, we want to be an innovative country, we want to be an entrepreneurial country. But with that, with the change now in government, we hope that opens up a new opportunity where the work that we are doing scales, grows bigger than what we and a number of organizations are able to do alone.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Leadership does have a role to play, and I like how we now have Ministry of Science and Technology, which just literally speaks innovation all over it. We have the SMEs Ministry, we have the green economy and all those things. So those are just a way of showing that they are ready to support innovation and entrepreneurship. And I hope to see you working with them hand in hand to ensure that our young people are being innovative, because innovation is the key driving force for economic development.
You look back at 10 years, it's not 10 years of waiting, it's not 10 years of saying, look, one day we'll have this. No, it's basically saying, look, things are going to change. But we must be the change as well.
We must be the change.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll end this point with one statement which one of our partners, sponsors, made when I asked them. So in 2011, I was in Nairobi. Early 2011, I was in Nairobi at a big conference, and I was asking questions from the big players, your Googles, Microsoft, World Banks. I was like, look, how can you support us in starting a hub? And then they asked the question, like, what are you doing yourself? You know, so it was the context. The context was, you have to be doing something and making traction for other people to be able to support you.
And to believe in you.
Yeah, exactly. So from the beginning, from the onset, it was, our mindset was that we had to do whatever it took to make progress and be able to gain the trust and confidence of our different partners. Mm-hmm. Because even for them, they were, very aware and fully convinced that for their investment in us to work, we needed to be the guys who were doing the stuff, right? Not sitting and waiting for money. Mm-hmm. And so each and every day, each and every month, each and every year, it was about looking for the problems, the building blocks of our entrepreneurial ecosystem, a thriving entrepreneurship ecosystem, and us really working on those building blocks. And that's why I keep saying that the BongoHi of 10 years ago is different from now, because we have solved a number of problems. There's still a number of opportunities that are there, problems, but as we solve for those things and we build the organization and support the building of the local entrepreneurship ecosystem, we know that we are progressing.
That's really good. And I understand when you say you're not the same as you were when you started, because for an organization to actually survive, you need to keep evolving and keep catching up with the trends and all. No, that's really good, and we're very excited to listen to this journey because it's just amazing. to see statistics and numbers. I think that's something that we rarely do. The statistics or the numbers will be presented to us. Look, this is an opportunity in the future, but we're so scared to actually go for it. Yeah. But you actually went for it, and I liked what your partners said during that meeting. About how you need to be doing something, and I think that's where most young people have it wrong. They will be like, no, I need money for this, I need money for that, but what are you doing yourself? Have you put in any effort? And I think that's what every investor is looking for. Have you put in the effort yourself? I hope you guys have learned something. So, what does BongoHive do, and how can young people be a part of this journey that you have started?
Okay. So BongoHive is now a group of different companies. Okay. We say that we work with great minds building viable solutions that change the world. Most people know us for the work that we do in supporting entrepreneurs in actualizing their ideas. And we have a range of programs which people are able to access to get the support needed to actualize their ideas or to even grow their businesses. So the programs that we run are at various stages. People who have a business idea, people who have an existing business, people who have been in business for a while looking for support in help, growing the business to the extent of getting external investors invest in their businesses. So this whole range of programs, they all run at different times of the year, and all of them are run with our various partners. And so our encouragement to many young people is always to look out for those opportunities when they are there on our social media, on social media platforms, and also on our website. And they're very clear in terms of the requirements. Not all the programs are for everyone, and so you have to really read the requirements to understand, okay, for this one, they're looking for women who are in this particular industry or who are interested in using technology. And there are those really weird, interesting programs. I remember last year we did something on drones, so people that are passionate about drones. We did a program on drone technology. So there are many types of programs, and when we work with our partners in designing the programs, we are really aiming to address the key challenges and opportunities in the market that many kinds of entrepreneurs are facing right now. So there's and that's the entrepreneurship side of BongoHive. Very clear in supporting entrepreneurs. They have to apply. You have to see the opportunity first, apply, and there's always a process to get into the programs. And so, not necessarily that you can just walk up to BongoHive now and say, I want to, enter into a program. They all are very structured in that you have to look out for deadlines, when the applications open, when there are deadlines, and when there are interviews and all those things. So the encouragement is always to follow us on various platforms. We are available on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
The name is BongoHive.
Yeah, BongoHive on all the platforms. You can't miss it. Our website is bongohive.co.zm. So if you go to the website even now, you will see the opportunities that are open. I must add also that we have training programs that are just generic. Right now we have training that we are running with I was about to say in conjunction, but I remember that's a very NBC term. In partnership. Yeah, in partnership with Facebook. And so we're aiming to train around 3,000 enterprises, and the idea is that we look to build capacity of entrepreneurs in using WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram for business. And so those are the kinds of programs we run. Some are aimed at entrepreneurs and in terms of their business. We call it business incubation acceleration. And some are just general training programs that we run for different topics. Let me talk a bit about the other two that can be sometimes confusing. So the space that we're in right now is called the Hive co-working space. And the idea around the Hive co-working space is what we call flexible co-working or flexible office space. We know that many entrepreneurs have challenges in accessing or having access to office space or real estate. And so we've solved for that in a number of ways. One, that we bundle all the services that you would get in your own office, whether it's your water bill, Tesco, electricity bill, internet, furniture, and we provide that at a fee. So you could rent an office for a day, a week, a month, for as long as possible, a meeting room. And that's proven to be very cost effective for entrepreneurs that maybe you have a business meeting, you want to look like you are, a serious business official. Yeah, you can just rent out a space
like we
this
are
one.
in.
Yeah, for this one is going for simply 250 kwacha per hour. So you have a nice business meeting in here. But the advantage for many startups is that it helps you look good. But also you have access to world-class facilities, and sometimes when you work here, you also are able to interact with amazing companies. We have some amazing African companies and local companies that are using our space, so it's a good opportunity to be able to interact with many other businesses out there. So that's a very interesting space that we've recently just grown, but we have lots of businesses working within the BongoHive Hive co-working space, and that's one of the offerings for many startups and businesses out there. The last one, which is mainly aimed at larger businesses, is our consulting unit called BongoHive Consult. And what we do there is we provide innovation, technology, and entrepreneurship services to large corporates or large businesses. So we have some of the biggest banks in Zambia that we're working with, and we are helping them to develop a pipeline of innovation or to train their staff, help their staff to be more innovative, or we're supporting them in running programs that also help other young people to be innovative.
What would you like people to know about BongoHive that they don't know? And also, what would you like people to know about you that they don't know?
We always have to spend time trying to explain what BongoHive is. I think the main message for people that are trying to understand who we are is that, like many companies, we are also evolving and exploring new opportunities in the marketplace. And so what I just explained about who we are and the different opportunities we're exploring, just have it in mind as well, that it's not just about you as an entrepreneur, right? There's so much about entrepreneurship and innovation that we're trying to solve for, and some of it involves working directly with entrepreneurs, and some of it just involves working with companies, some of it involves working with universities and government. But the opportunity really is around entrepreneurship and innovation, and we are trying to work in that space, to grow that space, to identify opportunities, and of course give opportunity to those that have something to offer, for them to get the right kind of support from us and from our partners.
And yourself?
And myself, wow. Okay, people think I'm a young guy. I'm kidding. I have 3 boys, been married for 12 years, some of them.
Wow.
I always have to remember, men forget these numbers. Yeah. But
you remember how old BongoHive is.
Yeah, exactly. I got married just before BongoHive. Wonderful family that provides support, encourages me to explore these opportunities and take these risks. And when we're talking about starting BongoHive, I remember it was very, very early days, and we just had our firstborn, and choosing to become an entrepreneur. And
that was so risky.
It's a risky thing, and so having a family that supports you is very important in the journey. And sometimes people don't have the support of family in whichever ways, and that's tough. But when you have a good support system, it does help you to take more risks, and hopefully that we can develop better support systems for ourselves, so that we can pursue our dreams much more easily.
All right, this was a really great discussion. So as we conclude, what are your last words to the audience? What words of encouragement do you have for people who are afraid to take risks? And anything you would like to say for the closing?
Sure. My own journey has taught me to take the appropriate risks, but also to develop support systems that help to pursue those dreams. I've also come to appreciate how being good to people does have an amazing return on that investment. And I always encourage young people that I know it's a world now that's very materialistic. We are much more interested in what we want to get out of things because of what we see and what we see others have. But really developing the right relationships with people around us, investing in people in those relationships is really one of the key things to becoming, more successful or realizing your own ambitions and dreams in life. So my encouragement is always just be kind to people, develop the right relationships with people, be involved in things that someday will give an amazing return because you are not interested in them because of the material returns or the money, but because you know that when you have a positive impact on a person, they'll treat you better. And life and our relationships can be so much better once we're just kind to each other. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Lukonga, for joining us. You've taken time off your busy schedule to share your story with us and to inspire people, because they're all about impact. And we also believe in impact, and we hope that someone will be inspired to take up a journey that creates positive impact on other people. So this impact will go to another person who will create more impact. So we are very grateful that you joined us today, and thank you for hosting us here in BongoHive. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the show. This is Beyond and Above, and I am your host, Florence Jedediah Mulenga. And make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, which is Unza TV Ridgeway Campus. And we hope you did enjoy, and we hope you learned a thing or two, and we hope you'll be able to take calculated risks, and you'll be able to have an impact on the people around you. Thank you for joining us. It's the end for now.
Wow.